But you're late. I waited around and then I run to the door. I can't take anymore. It's not you. You let me down again. Baby, baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home. I'll be beside the phone waiting for you.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Brew Crew Review. I'm here with my distinguished colleagues once again. Vince Travato over to my left, the great Chad Collins to my far right, and of course Scott Bartell. What a great man he is, and he's here today. And we've got some live reports from our minor league road trip to AAA, AA Brewer affiliates, both Nashville and Huntsville. And also, we were able to visit St. Louis for the third ever game at the new Busch Stadium, and pretty much the first time the Cardinals ever lost. So we'll bring you a live report from there. That was exciting. Big Carlos Lee day. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Brewers, who started the 2006 season 5-0 and got a lot of fans fired up about the team. Since that time, they've pretty much went a little bit into the tank and have now gone on the 500 mark as we go toward the end of April here into early May. What do you guys think is the difference? What are you seeing now that the season's starting to unfold here? What are the Brewers, any needs they may need to address or things that they need to improve on?
Well, besides today not scoring any runs, the hitting has come around. I mean, I was in vacation in an unknown destination, and the Brewers scored many runs against Houston, but unfortunately, the pitching couldn't support it. Doug Davis has had two less than stellar outings in a row. But it's good to see the hitting coming around, but the pitching, for some people, just hasn't been there. But it's good to see Dave Busch bounce back. So, but like Ned Yost said, and I remember Vince said it, I believe in episode 19 or 20, that the approach that Ned Yost takes, it's a long season. You got to take, don't be too high with the highs, don't be too low with the lows. 162 games, you're going to have some down points, and unfortunately right now we're in a down point. But I think the team is ready for a good run, so I'm not too concerned right now.
I really think that, first of all, I think there's a little bit of a run of bad luck here. Pretty much when our pitchers give up a lot of runs, those happen to be the same nights we've been scoring a lot of runs and just coming up short. And the same thing when our pitchers have thrown really good games, so has the opposing pitcher, and we've just been just losing out on those. So that's a little bit of bad luck. I think if some of those wins can bounce in our favor, hopefully, as the season progresses. But besides that, I think I'm starting to realize myself that maybe our bullpen isn't quite as solid as I thought it might be. I think, obviously, we've already had to call up Demaria and Adams to help out in the bullpen, and those guys aren't necessarily great Major League bullpen guys. Hopefully they can be, but haven't addressed that already early in the season. And also, we need more consistency out of our starting pitching. Having Ben Sheets back, hopefully it'll be a shot in the arm. We really just need to give him more run support for sure as a team. But everyone else on the team, hitting-wise, really started hitting. You really can't complain about that. Maybe outside of Brady Clark, our leadoff hitter, has not been setting the table as of right now. Besides that, I don't think there's been too much other, besides timely hitting, any problems with our offense necessarily.
Well, except executive producer Mueller, you were talking about our lack of criticism for the hitting. That wasn't true after the first week of the season, which points out, I think, to a larger problem with timing. It seems like when we're hitting, we're not pitching. When we're pitching, we're not hitting, and unfortunately, it makes it hard to win games. So let's hope that it turns around here in week 3.5, week 4.
Yeah, hopefully we can go into Wrigley and show the Cubs who's the better team and have that as a springboard on to successful May and June and hopefully into contention in the later months of the season. So let's move on to our next segment. And we have some live reports out in the southern regions of our great country in the St. Louis, Nashville, and Huntsville area. So both Vince, myself, and Chad are going to be going out on location. So why don't you come along with us out there at home as we go and visit the Nashville Sounds and the Huntsville Stars in both Nashville and Huntsville. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with some live reports out on the road with the Brew Crew Review.
All right, Brewer fans, I guess the rest of the Brew Crew Review is out checking out the new Busch Stadium, and I'm kind of in the studio alone, so I mean it's kind of fun, but it's pretty boring. Yeah, let's check it out. Hopefully the guys are really loving the new Busch Stadium.
All right, thanks, Scott. Greetings, Brewers fans of BrewCrewReview.com. We're here at Busch Stadium as the Brewers take the last game against the St. Louis Cardinals 4-3. Carlos Lee, huge home run, top of the 11th, and 2 great catches in extra innings, secured a victory. Vince, what was your thoughts and feelings about this game?
I was pretty excited to see a clutch home run by Carlos Lee. I guess the Brewers could easily have gotten down in this series, down the first 2 games 0-2. They came back, played hard today, battled through some adversity. I guess that there's a couple situations where David Eckstein played very well, took some key hits away from Chad Moeller, and could have easily fell apart at that point. So
Actually, David Eckstein, not to interrupt, but he actually ate up all of our executive producer Mueller's swearing quota for the day already, and it's only 4 o'clock, so it might be a little difficult, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
just an exciting game. Glad to see the Brewers at least win 1 down here in St. Louis, and let's go off to New York. So lots of Brewers fans down here. It's a very exciting time. Beautiful ballpark in St. Louis, and now off to face the Mets in the weekend series.
It's pretty good to see the actual changing of the guard, the passing of the torch from the Cardinals handed to the Brewers today. The people in St. Louis are very nice to us. I wish them the best of luck in the wild card race.
All right, what a great game. Carlos Lee single-handedly taking him down there. Great catch, great homer, awesome. Well, it looks like you guys really enjoyed the Busch experience out there. And let's see how you're doing in the Tennessee State Capitol.
All right, Brewers fans around West Dallas in the state of Wisconsin, your favorite Brew Crew Review show and team is here at the state capitol in Tennessee. We're looking forward actually to seeing the Nashville Sounds game tonight, but we thought we'd see the sights around Nashville today. As you can see in the background, the architecture here is actually pretty brilliant. The state capitol is sort of a model of Greek and Roman architecture. I know that most of you in West Dallas around the state know that already, but yeah, it's a great day. We're just going to walk around Nashville a bit, get ready for the Sounds winning tonight, hopefully, and coming off a Brewers win yesterday against St. Louis. So it's been an exciting couple days. We're looking forward also to bringing you some coverage from Huntsville, Alabama tomorrow, where hopefully the Brewers AA team is going to be putting up a win as the AAA team will do tonight and the Brewers did yesterday. So I guess hopefully we'll be coming at you a bit from Nashville around the city and then the stadium tonight. And until then, Scott, take it away back to the studio. This is the guys from the Brew Crew Review in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow, that was phenomenal. I don't know how we could top that. Should we just end the show? No, we can't end the show. Okay, I guess we're going to have to try to top that anyway. You guys are going to have to go to Greer Stadium, maybe check out Sluggers while you're out there.
All right, Brewers fans all across the great state of Wisconsin. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee. We thought that it might be interesting for all of you to see what our minor league affiliate stadium has to offer. This restaurant is sort of akin to TGI Fridays in left field at Miller Park. And Chad, on the camera, if you want to kind of pan the area a little bit, you'll see that it's actually set up. It's a very nice baseball bar. Very friendly people here in Tennessee. You can see the bar area. It's a place where baseball fans can feel at home. There's several different games on the air right now. We got the Yankees and the Twins. Of course, the Brewers game is on, taking on the Mets. So everybody here loves the Brewers, and they love baseball. They love the Nashville sound. So, executive producer Mueller, what do you have to add here, and what do you think about this fine restaurant up here in the concourse area of Nashville Sound Stadium?
I'm a big fan, really. It's called Sluggers. It's on top of the press box behind home plate, as you can see in Nashville Stadium. It's an awesome view from up here, and we just saw the Sounds defeat the Oklahoma Redhawks 11-1. Dana Evelyn had a no-hitter through 5 innings. Ended up the winning pitcher. I believe he had 9 strikeouts tonight. So very, very exciting game. And if, for any of you who have never checked out a minor league baseball game, I definitely recommend coming here to Nashville or visit, support your local team, whether it be anywhere from single A, double A, triple A, locally, because it's a great experience. There's a lot of fun things for kids to do. They had kids run the base after the game. They have contests between innings. They have rowdy mascots, and it's fun for the whole family. So it's baseball.
And that's the thing. Milwaukee is very fortunate, of course, to have a major league team. But we also don't get the experience of what minor league baseball could be like. The nearest city, I believe, right now is either Appleton or Beloit for Brewers fans if you're from the Milwaukee area. So if you do get the chance, as executive producer Mueller said, come down here and check out the festivities. Go to a minor league game anywhere in the country, really. It's a very unique experience. You get your baseball, you get a fan-friendly atmosphere, and very, very unique experience. So I guess for right now, we may be going to some other spots around the ballpark here in Nashville, try to get you a little bit more of an inside exclusive look. But as for right now, I think that we're going to sign off and send it back to Scott at the studio. Once again, this is the Brew Crew Review, executive producer Mueller and Vince Travato signing off from Sluggers.
Well, it looks like you guys are having a really good time out there. I got to work 12 hours today, so that was almost as much fun. Let's see what you're doing now. I think you're in Huntsville?
All right, Brewers fans, we're here again in Huntsville, Alabama. It's been a great game so far, just a great day all around. We've had a very pleasant experience, the Brewers minor league affiliates, especially here in Huntsville today. I think it's just been outstanding. If you could get down here, if you get a chance, I would definitely recommend it. Mr. Chad Collins, what are some of your thoughts on the day so far?
It's a great day today. As you can see, the weather is beautiful. Thanks again to Huntsville Stars for treating us with such good hospitality. The wings in the press box were great. I know, Vince, you enjoyed them. Thanks for them letting us in the dugout for the game, too. It was very nice. Any last thoughts? I don't even know where we're heading after this. We'll find out in a second, but what do you think, Vince?
All right, Brewers fans, we're going to either head back to the Smoky Mountains, which you probably do remember from our trip there last July. If not there, there's a possibility it might be Atlanta. There's a possibility it might be near the Ocoee River region of Georgia. But we're not sure yet, so we're going to hop in the car. The Brew Crew Review mobile is going to head out. It depends when the station's budget actually runs out and they stop funding our gas mileage. So we'll see hopefully somewhere down the road, and I'm guessing it's going to be an interesting evening no matter what. So until next time, Scott, I guess you can take it away back at the studio, and this is the Brew Crew Review signing out from Huntsville.
All right, what a great day out there. It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. I don't know, why don't you interview somebody, maybe like an usher or something like that. I think there's a guy, Al Frazier, down there. Vince, can you interview him for me? Thanks.
All right, Brewers fans, this is Vince Travato with the Brew Crew Review here in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're here with a special guest. We have Al Frazier. Al, you've got some great stories you were telling us earlier. Tell us a little bit about your story with the former Brewer pitcher, Dwight Bernard.
Well, about 1977, when Dwight was pitching for Belmont University in Nashville, he was pitching an amateur league one night, and the Met scout came with his contract. Actually was going to sign him during the game, and the game went extra innings, and they asked Dwight to pitch 1 inning, so we had to stop the game because they'd run out of pitchers. And Dwight signed the contract right there at the ballpark there in Nolensville, Tennessee. And we didn't have anything to lean on, so he said, well, what are we going to lean on? So I leaned over and he signed the contract on my back. I didn't get any residuals out of it, but it's a good story. And several years ago, I went back to the same field there in Nolensville, took a picture and mailed it to Dwight, and he said he still remembers that he's going to give it to his kids, the picture where he actually signed his first professional contract there in Nolensville, Tennessee.
Right on your back.
Right on my back. I still haven't gotten paid for it.
You should get about 2% at least for that. Al, tell us a little bit about your job here at the stadium. How long have you been doing it? Do you enjoy it? And what are your favorite memories here at the ballpark?
Well, I've been working here about 4 years. I work as a usher and in special events and security, whatever they need. And I work because I love baseball. I mean, they don't pay you much, but you get free baseball. You get to come to baseball games. And, I mean, I saw a triple play one night. I mean, how many triple plays you get to see? Grand Slam home runs. And the players, you get to know the players and nice kids. You see a lot of nice young men. J.J. Hardy and Dave Kremblas and guys like that have made it to Milwaukee. And you really want to pull for guys like Corey Hart. Because, they just play hard and just good kids.
Al, who's your favorite player on this year's Sounds team?
On the Sounds team, it's probably Adam Heater, because he's just a nice young man. He just comes to play the game. He reminds me a lot of Pete Rose. He just comes and gets himself dirty every game. And he may not be a star, but he's a kid that plays hard.
And the Brewers, do you follow the Brewers at the big league level?
Oh yes, I've been up to Milwaukee. I drove from here to Milwaukee about 9 hours one day to go up here and watch them play for a weekend series, and had a ball, and then drove down to Beloit and watched them play in the Single A when they were in Beloit, and love Wisconsin. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
All right, Brewers fans, this has been a special exclusive report with Al Frazier. Al, thank you very much for joining us. Brewers fans, if you ever get the chance, come on down here to Alabama and check out the Brewers AA team. All of our minor league affiliates have been great, and we're looking forward to seeing you down here later on, either this year or sometime next year. Vince Travato, signing back to you off at the studio, Scotty.
Guys, do me a favor. I got some breaking news here. It turns out Hall of Shame member Alex Sanchez is going to be playing tonight. He's in AA now. AA. I know he's really gone downhill. Yeah, but you guys got to get down there. Seriously. Okay, go now. Okay, bye. Bye.
All right, Brewers fans. Well, just when we thought that our day was done, our work was finally completed. Executive producer Mueller decides that we're going to be stopping here in Chattanooga to see the AA team of the Cincinnati Reds, the Chattanooga Lookouts, take on the Florida Marlins AA team. Another surprise hit us as we arrived at the ballpark. We realized that the right fielder for the Reds AA team is none other than your favorite former Milwaukee Brewer and our Hall of Shame member, Alex Sanchez. See if you can get him as we turn around and do a little shouting at him, remind him of how much everyone in Milwaukee actually loved the style of play that he had, especially Ned Yost and others around Milwaukee. Mr. Collins, what are you thinking out here? Are you enjoying the ballpark? It's another game, another night here. It's our fourth game in 3 days. It's got to be exciting.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful stadium, a lot of character. When we walked in, Alex Sanchez was batting, and as you can see, he's right there. Hey, Alex, how about those Brewers? I think he's a little deaf right now. He's having a hard time hearing. But anyways, we're here in Chattanooga, Tennessee with Mr. Travato. Beautiful stadium. This is home of the AA Reds complex.
I guess for now we're going to sign off, send it back to you at the studio. Scott, all your Brewers fans at home, I hope that you enjoy our live coverage here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We'll be back with you later on at some point this evening, hopefully after one of these two teams wins, and Alex Sanchez hears us. There he goes. That's him.
Oh, really? Alex Sanchez got the game-winning RBI? Oh, there's no doubt he'll be in the majors any day now. Yeah, he's back on the upswing. All right, yeah, you heard it here first. Well, you guys have obviously done a lot of work for the show. Why don't you do me a favor and just maybe take some time for yourselves, you know? I mean, it is supposed to be a vacation. I know it's a business trip, but have a little fun.
All right, Brewers fans, your Brew Crew Review host, Mr. Chad Collins, and myself, Vince Travato, are here on the Katie's Cove area, I believe,
Yes.
of the Smoky Mountain National Park in Tennessee. If you're a longtime viewer of the show, which I'm sure most of you are, you remember that last year we actually came to the Smokies as well. I had some great stories, some great happenings. Let's see, this morning I suppose we could update you by telling you that we went to a nice little southern breakfast place. We thought we saw our private detective, Mark Antoniak, there.
If you could show us a picture, please, real quick.
Yeah,
You'll remember who he is.
Yeah, there's a big plate of bacon. We think that we might have found him, but no, it wasn't him. Either that or he was in his disguise, which he does sometimes since he is a private detective. In any case, then we decided to proceed here to the Smoky Mountains. We're about halfway through a bit of a nature hike here on this Katie's Cove area. It's very beautiful. Once again, Brewers fans, we invite you to come along with us on some of our road trips. Come down to Tennessee when you get an opportunity. It's really a great place. Your Brew Crew Review team was actually fairly busy the last few days. We saw 4 baseball games in 3 days. The St. Louis Cardinals' new stadium, Busch 2, was a fun day, I think, and the Brewers ended up winning in extra innings, so that was very positive. We saw the game in Nashville where the Sounds were once again victorious, making us 2-0, I believe, in Nashville. Went down to Huntsville yesterday, and then surprisingly, we decided to check out a game in Chattanooga last night where the AA teams of the Florida Marlins and Cincinnati Reds were playing. So, nice night in Chattanooga. Alex Sanchez with the game winner. Mr. Collins, how are things going, and what is your take here on today, and what are you excited about? And I'm sure you're excited about getting back to Wisconsin, back to West Allis, and kind of seeing our fans again in person, too.
Yeah, I miss the people of West Allis and Wisconsin. I'm sure they miss us. Working hard on the farmer's tan, got the triceps going. It's beautiful out here in the mountains, and just wish our dear friend Scott was here. But I know, Scott, you're back in the studio, and you're ready to take this one away from us.
Brew Crew Review has left me alone here. And now, I control the universe. Oh, hello. Chad, I believe you have a interview here with Nashville Sound's Gary Pettis.
All right, thanks, Scott. This is Chad with the Brew Crew Review. We're here with Gary Pettis, the Nashville Sound's hitting coach. Gary's coming back for the second season with the Nashville Sounds. First of all, Gary, what was it like last year? You guys won the Pacific Coast Championship. If you could just tell us a little bit about the experience, how was it for you?
Well, considering all the changes that were made during the course of the year, coming down the stretch, we had a huge lead, and then when they called up a lot of our guys, our lead sort of started to go down a little bit, but the guys persevered, and it was that effort from the guys that have been here all year with the addition of the guys called up from Huntsville that got us through. We had some key hits from guys like Chris Barnwell, Ryan Knox, and then the big blow came from Nelson Cruz in the 13th inning to win the championship for us.
Excellent. You've had a great major league career yourself. You've been a 5-time Gold Glove winner. You've stolen 40 bases five times. You've stolen over 50 bases twice. How do you transfer your knowledge of defense and base running to these young kids down here in AAA?
Well, to begin with, most of the guys here have the ability to do just about anything you can do on the field. Now it's up to the coaching staff to try and tweak something here or give them a little edge, whether it be in what a pitcher's doing when he throws to first or what he's doing when he throws home, or maybe it could be something as simple as getting behind a fly ball and running through it on a tag play so he has more momentum and more strength on the throw to home.
Just a couple things about a couple of players individually. Dave Kremblas was a first-round pick with the Brewers in 2000. Very high expectations. He had a couple setbacks. He had a bad injury during the offseason. How is he progressing? How is he coming back from the injury? Does he still have the same kind of speed that he had from before?
Well, yeah, I don't think the injury had anything to do with his legs. So David's still probably one of the fastest guys in baseball, certainly in the PCL. And right now, the way he's swinging the bat, he's probably for the first 8 games of the season, in my opinion, he's been as good as he's ever been.
And Tony Gwynn Jr. Obviously is very talked about back in Milwaukee. We're very excited to have him. It's his first year in AAA. What do you tell a young player who's progressing through the levels? What kind of expectations should he make moving up from the AA level to the AAA? How do you prepare him for something like that?
Well, it's hard. There's nothing that you can really say to a guy to get him ready for a AAA or even the major leagues. They have to experience it for a little while. You can tell them that the guys might have a better slider or a better changeup or a better fastball, but until you actually go through it, experience will take care of all of that itself. And I think Tony will be okay, given the fact that he's a left-handed hitter. He should fare pretty well in this league.
Excellent. Nelson Cruz, he has so much potential, so much power. Like he said, he hit the big home run to secure the championship for Nashville. How is he progressing? I know sometimes people say he has a problem with the strike zone. How is he adjusting to that? How is he doing right now?
Well, it's only 8 games into the season, so right now I think everybody, not just our team, but the rest of the teams in the league are just trying to find their way through right now, and we'll see what happens. I mean, Nelson, so far, he's done pretty well. I mean, he's got a big home run for us the other day. I think it's a ball game. We won 2-0. He hit a 2-run homer early in the game, so I think his swing is fine right now. Yeah, he does chase breaking balls from time to time, but what power hitter doesn't?
Sure. And lastly, just what player right now is catching your eye back in Milwaukee? Maybe a player that the casual fan doesn't know about. Who should we be looking for to really emerge to help Nashville hopefully repeat as Pacific Coast champion this year?
Well, I think there's going to be a blend of a lot of different things. I think this year we have a more rounded team because we don't have the power that we had last year. But I'm looking for Tony Gwynn. I'm looking for Chris Barnwell, Enrique Cruz, Brad Nelson. Jermaine Clark has been a guy that has really opened my eyes since spring training. To this point, he's been our most consistent hitter at the plate.
Well, Mr. Pettis, thank you for your time and thank you for your contributions to our AAA team. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chad. Again, great interview with Nashville Sounds hitting coach Gary Pettis. What did you guys think about some of the things that Mr. Pettis had to say during that interview about some of the players that are at AAA Nashville that will probably be helping out at the major league level at some point in the future? Some of the young players at AAA. What did you think, Gary, about Gary's comments about them?
I was excited. I thought that was a great interview. Chad, I always appreciate the fact that you seem to get to the bottom of the story with Gary Pettis, especially found him to be a real personable guy. When you talk to him, I was impressed with the fact that he was sharing what I thought were, pretty well-guarded secrets within the coaching ranks, and I think that you were really able to bring that out. So, great interview.
I appreciate that, Vince. It was good to hear what he said about Dave Krenzel, too, that he's on the right path. He's kind of a forgotten person in the Brewer minor league system. Hopefully he can contribute for us someday, but Gary Pettis still has a lot of confidence in him, so it was good. Also, we had to spend some time with him at Sluggers afterwards, so we'd like to thank Mr. Pettis for his personal time afterwards. It was a good time. Yeah,
and even though Gary didn't necessarily say it in his interview, if you really think about it from a prospect point of view, the couple of guys that really need to, quote-unquote, step up the plate and rebound with good seasons for the Nashville Sounds, I would say would be someone like Dave Krenzel coming back from that injury and an off season last year at AAA. A guy like Ben Hendrickson, who again had his shot with Milwaukee 2 Septembers ago and didn't fare that well, and then had a kind of an up-and-down season at Nashville last year. I think he needs to rebound with a big year at AAA. And also a guy like Brad Nelson, who has been dealing with injuries for several years since he was the player of the year in the Midwest League at Beloit in 2002. So a couple of those players really, I think, need to step up for Nashville. But I do think that they have a real solid core of players, and that they could possibly make another run to defend their Pacific Coast League championship, especially with their strong rotation, of course, Zach Jackson, Dana Evelyn, Dennis Rafarte, and Ben Hendrickson, and Justin Thompson as well, all in the rotation. I think they should be able to fare pretty well in the Pacific Coast League again. But I know that Sounds manager Frank Kremblas has been doing a great job down there for several years now, working with the players. And fortunately, we had the opportunity to interview Frank after the National Sounds won their home opener against Oklahoma. 11-1. Yeah, and Chad once again had the opportunity to interview Mr. Frank Kremblas after that game, talking about what he thinks about some of his Sounds players going into the 2006 season. So let's go ahead and Scott, do you want to throw this interview out to Chad then, out in the field at Greer Stadium?
All right, Chad.
All right, so Scott, thanks again. We're here with Frank Kremblas, the manager of the defending 2005 Pacific League champion Nashville Sounds. Frank, first of all, congratulations on your 11-1 drubbing of Oklahoma today. A couple quick things I just want to say. You're in the second season returning manager of Nashville Sounds, 7th season in the Brewer organization. Your accomplishments are very many. In 2003, you led Huntsville, our AA team, to the Southern League Championship. You were a coach at the Futures game in Chicago. 2004, you were named Best Managerial Prospect in the Southern League, and you were the manager of the Southern League All-Star team on the west side. What is your favorite, happiest accomplishment besides being a champion last year?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. I thought that year in 2002 when we lost the 5th game of the playoffs was a pretty good accomplishment. A lot of young guys, J.J. Hardy and Corey and David Krenzel, basically the bulk of the team and the middle of it. And they did a good job, and there was some pretty good pitching in that league that year. And in the playoffs especially, Birmingham and Carolina both had outstanding pitching staffs, and they did a good job just getting down to the game 5.
Last year, after you were done winning the Pacific Coast Championship, we saw you in Milwaukee. You were with the Brewers for the last month. Describe your experiences. What did you learn from it? How was it being with the Brewers for the last month of the season?
It was really fun. I had a great time. Learning-wise, basically just watching the coaches, how they prepare for the game. All the bat system they have there is incredible, and they use it tremendously. Butch with the hitters and Mike obviously preparing for each hitter. And it's kind of interesting from what I saw was using the bats and how available and how much information you can get from that system.
Going on to this year, it seems like last year you had a more powerful team with Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks and Corey Hart. Now your team's more based on speed. You're more of an aggressive manager. Is that something more conducive to your managing style?
Well, you kind of go with what you got, really. Not that we don't have any power, but from a numbers standpoint, there's a little less power, but you still got Nelson and Cruz and Rivera, the guys that can hit the ball, drive the ball out of the ballpark. And you kind of just see what you have and you kind of go with it.
What's great about your team, too, is so many players this year seem like they can play so many different positions. All your outfielders can play all 3 positions. Abernathy can play a lot of positions. We talked about all over how many players can play different positions. How does that work for you as a manager? Is that nice?
Yeah, it is nice, especially when you play National League games. You know, you can do a few other kind of double switches aren't that big of a deal because you can move around guys. And when you have, it's nice to have 3 catchers, too. So you can pinch run for a catcher maybe in a National League game knowing that you got Vinny and either Mark or Mike, depending on who's not in the game, that can go in and catch.
Well, congratulations. Thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win today, and good luck defending the championship this year.
Thank you.
What do you guys think about anything Frank had to say, or what you saw of the Nashville Sounds while we were there visiting at Brewer Stadium?
I was pretty happy, again, talking to Frank Kremblas. It was the second time we talked to him. He has a lot of good qualities to him. Like I said, when he went over his biography, he was a coach in the Futures game in Chicago. He was manager of the year already. Did well for AA, did well for AAA. It seems like we have a very good managerial prospect in the organization. I like the positive attitude that he has with the team. And the players seem to really like him as well. That Dana Evelyn, like he said, pitched really well. He, like you said, had a perfect game through past 5 innings, and the first 3 hits he gave up were all infield hits to third base. And Nelson Cruz was really pounding the ball, too. It was good to see. And Tony Gwynn Jr. looked really good as well. And Vince got to talk to him. We'll show that in a future episode. But Tony Gwynn Jr. looked excellent. He even stole third base. So looks like a lot of good things coming from Nashville.
Chet, when you were interviewing Frank, did you get a sense of how special he thought that he had of a group, I guess, to work with the last couple of years?
Yeah, he definitely said he liked the group. And what was also nice is he came up to Milwaukee when we got to interview him the time before. So he had the experience of hanging around the Major League Ball Club. He's had the experience of working with the same guys for a couple of years now. It's his second year back with Nashville, and he's showing a good winning attitude throughout the whole organization. So it's good to see him in the Brewer organization.
Yeah, and if anyone gets a chance, any Brewer fans, and want to take a weekend trip down to visit the Nashville Sounds, we recommend doing so highly. It's just over an 8-hour drive down there to Nashville, and it depends on who's driving.
Yeah, you make it in about 5.5.
Was avoided able to avoid many speeding tickets.
The iPass folks from the
No
Illinois.
tickets again?
Well, the iPass
Actually,
people
you
have
usually
some
jinx me, Scott.
video cameras, actually. Yeah.
But
That's 2 trips in a row without a ticket.
Well,
that's very impressive.
changed
Don't
your
jinx me.
That's like a personal record by far. That's
changed your
been a
address,
row.
I think, too, so that probably helps.
But anyway, down there in Nashville, it's a great, and I want to send out a special thanks to Media Relations Director down for Nashville, and that's Doug Scopel. He was very courteous to us and allowed us to interview as many players as we wanted. And so look for a lot of future interviews on the Brew Crew Review episodes with a lot of the Brewers minor league prospects. So check that out on our future prospect profiles as we try to highlight some of those players.
Well,
and from Nashville, we moved on to Huntsville, Alabama, and we were able to interview their manager, who is former Brewer from the early 80s, and that's Don Money. So Vince had the opportunity to interview Mr. Don Money, who, as you pointed out, is a member of the Milwaukee Brewers Walk of Fame, and right now he is overlooking our AA prospects in Huntsville, Alabama, and doing one heck of a job. So,
thought it'd be an interesting interview. A guy that played for the Brewers from '73 till '82, so he'd seen a lot of good and bad baseball. So, kick it down to I guess myself and
let's go on to Vince on the field in Huntsville, Alabama, with Brewer legend Don Money. Let's go to that interview right now.
All right, this is Vince Travato with the Brew Crew Review here with Don Money. Don, tell us a little bit about your team this year and how do they look?
Well, right now we have a very young team, experience-wise, AA level. Some of the guys are struggling offensively. Pitching-wise, we've been pretty solid. Mainly defensively, we've been playing pretty solid. But we're 1 game under 500 right now. But I look for them as the year goes over, progressively better.
Now, you've been in the minor leagues for quite a few years as a manager with the Brewers. How do you compare this with other teams that you've had in the system?
Well, last year at AA team was a little bit older. We had a few players that maybe felt that they didn't belong in AA. They should have been AAA. It was, it's kind of hard in the clubhouse. But these guys here, they're younger, as I pointed out, and mostly they feel like they deserve to be here. And it makes it a little different in the clubhouse.
What do you enjoy most about being a minor league manager? Like I said, it's been a few years for you now in the Brewer system and around baseball. What is it that you enjoy most, and what is it that you look forward to coming to the park and seeing every day?
Well, I think when players progress, I was in Beloit for 7 years, and a lot of the guys that are in Milwaukee now, I had in Beloit over the last 5 or 6 years, and most of these players here I had in Beloit at some point. There's a 23-man roster, and of the 12 position players, I think I had 9 of them in Beloit, so I know most of them, how they handle themselves and what I expect of them. But, my job is just to come out here and make these players better to get to the next level, which is AAA and to the big leagues sooner or later.
Speaking of big leagues, a little bit going back to your career, you were with the Brewers, a few of the lean years, but then you saw them through, and all of a sudden the team became a competitor, and finally in 1982 they won the American League Championship. What do you see these young guys that you've managed now and that you continue to manage doing as they progress through the system, and what do you think the chances that the Brewers of today will kind of replicate what happened in the 70s and early 80s?
Well, I think they're on the right track. When I first went to Milwaukee, we were kind of thin in talent. We didn't win too many ball games, but we filled in with players like Robin Yount came up in '74, Paul Molitor came up in like '78, Gorman Thomas, Gantner, all in the mid-'70s, and as they progressed and played together and got a little bit older and matured a lot, the talent level, picked up. Plus, we made a trade here or there to fill in a hole that we needed to fill. And in the late '70s and early '80s, we were probably as good as any team in baseball, and that's the way I see the Brewers today. They're very young. Next year they'll look and say, hey, maybe we need a starter, maybe we need this player. And you might see some of the younger guys in our minor league system maybe trade a little bit to try to pick up a pitcher or an outfielder or whatever they need to fill a certain hole with.
And as far as your future plans, you want to stay in the minor leagues? Do you ever think about going up to the big leagues again as a coach?
Well, I think everybody in the minor leagues would like to get there, but that's not my number one priority. My number one priority is try to make these players the best they can, to go to the next level, help Ned Yost, win a championship in Milwaukee, and that's what our jobs are. And, of course, everybody would like to say, I want to get to the big leagues, but, I was there for 15 years, and, I'm in AA now, and my job is just to make these players better players for Ned Yost.
All right, this is Vince Travaglio with Brewers Walk of Fame inductee Don Money. Don, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
It was Don Money with the Huntsville Stars. We also had the opportunity to interview a couple of other prospects down at AA, Lou Palmisano and Adam Heather, so look for those in future episodes, those interviews. But the Stars ended our set, our three-game. They won their game too, that we 6-2, and they completed our organizational sweep of the 3 days. We saw the Brewers win in St. Louis on a Thursday, the Nashville Sounds win their opening game on a Friday, and then on the Saturday afternoon, the Huntsville Stars took care of their end of the deal and won 6-2 for a 3-0 record for the Brew Crew Review on this trip. So congratulations, guys. Don Money, said a lot of positive things about his experience down at AA in Huntsville. Of course, he used to be had a lot of these same prospects, including some of the top ones that are now with our organization in Prince Fielder, Ricky Weeks down at Single A Beloit when that was a Brewers affiliate just a few years ago.
That's right.
And Vince, you asked him that poignant question about whether or not he has aspirations to make it to the big league level, and he kind of said if that happens, great. But in the most, he knows that it's his responsibility to help guide the kids along, and he kind of explained that he really enjoys the fact that when he sees them make it and helps, he knows that he had a hand in their development as a AA manager.
Well, and you know what, executive producer, if you talk to longtime Brewers fans, I think they'll tell you that Don Money was a team player. So maybe that's kind of the mentality he's taking in managing as well, bringing these prospects along, sharing his knowledge and his expertise and his wisdom, and helping them all get up to the major leagues and be successful big league ball players. So in the meantime, it looked like he was enjoying life down in AA Huntsville. You saw him laughing in the third base coach's box, having a good time in the dugout before the game. He was joking around with us, I think, 5 minutes before game time. And
so yeah, he's got a great sense of humor.
He's got a good attitude, good sense of humor. It was very pleasant to talk to him, to interview him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, our road trip, we had a great time. Scotty, we're going to take another minor league trip hopefully later in July, and Scotty will be invited along with us. So
I'll be there.
That'll be exciting. And we'll hopefully, visit Nashville once again and possibly Huntsville as well. So,
can I ask a real quick question? What other show covers the Brewers and minor league baseball year round besides the Brew Crew Review? I mean, it's outstanding. What? Zero.
Nobody.
It's a great question,
Yeah.
Chad. And
So
great answer, Scotty.
This is what West Dallas wanted. This is what the fans of Wisconsin wanted. So we're trying to bring it to you as much as we can. So if you have a certain prospect that you would want us to interview for sure on an upcoming episode or a road trip, make sure to give us an email. Send it to Craig at brewcrewreview.com, and if you have any questions to go along with that, feel free to do that as well. Also, check out our website at brewcrewreview.com. Again, we're going to be trying to post more articles on there for you to read and check out about the Milwaukee Brewers and their affiliates. And also, we're going to be debuting a new segment under the minor league segment, and that's going to be our minor league analyst Brandon has come up with his top 30 prospects in the Brewer organization for starting the 2006 season, and that'll be all posted there too. But before you check that out, we're going to go to Brandon. He's out scouting the Brewer minor leagues. He's been doing that extensively, and he's got his report of the top 30 prospects. So we're going to go with that now, and then we'll go right into our prospect profile on who he has as our #1 prospect. So again, let's take this away to Brandon, again with the top 30 Brewer prospects for 2006. Go ahead and take it away.
Hi, this is Brandon Mueller, minor league analyst with the Brew Crew Review. I'm back after scouting with my list of my top 30 prospects, which I'm going to run down for you, give you a little facts about each player. I'll do it 10 at a time. I'll start at 30. My list is based off of playing potential and also a combination of the potential of them making an impact with the Brewers. So I'll start with number 30, and it's Steve Hammond, a left-hand pitcher drafted in the 6th round of the 2005 draft. He is 23 and plays at High A ball in Brevard County. And for my 29 pick, I chose Cadillacs Crab. He plays second base. He was drafted in the 12th round of the 2002 draft. He is currently 23 years old, and he's playing for AA Huntsville. At 28 is Lorenzo Kane. He's outfielder, drafted in the 17th round of the 2004 draft. He's currently at Single A, West Virginia, and he's 20 years old. My next one, number 27, is Mike Jones. In previous years, he would have been a lot higher on my list, but he's coming off a rash of injuries that he's had lately, and he was our first draft pick in the 2001 draft. He is 22 years old, and he's at back down to High Brevard County. 26 is Matt Gamble. He's a third baseman drafted in the 4th round of the 2005 draft. He is currently 20 years old at A-ball in West Virginia. And my 25th is Adam Heather. He's a third baseman drafted in the 11th round of the 2003 draft, and he is 24, and he is also at AA Huntsville. My 24th is Ronaldo Pascual. He is a right-handed pitcher signed by the Brewers as an undrafted free agent in 2005. He is 17 years old, and he'll be debuting at rookie ball for the Arizona Brewers this year. My 23rd is Josh Wapapaw. He is a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 3rd round of the 2004 draft. He is 21 at High A Brevard County. My 22nd is Brad Nelson, and some people may think this is a little bit low after being our minor league player of the year in 2002. But he has struggled with the bat lately, and after debuting at AAA Nashville last year, he got dropped back down to AA because of his hitting struggles. Now he's 23, and he's currently at our AAA affiliate at Nashville. My 21 is Ben Hendrickson. He debuted in the top 10 of Brewer prospects 2 years ago. He's one of those bubble guys who dominates AAA, and he comes up to the majors and just can't quite get it all together. Part of that's because of a lack of control, which leads his fastballs to get hit a little bit harder because he can't seem to throw that big bending curveball that he has in the strike zone. He was drafted in the 10th round of the 99 draft, and he is 25, and he is also at AAA, pitching well again this year. And to round out with my 20th pick, it's Carlos Villanueva, a right-handed pitcher signed by the Giants as an undrafted free agent in 2002. He's 22, and he's currently at AA Huntsville. Okay, I'm now going to break down my prospects on my list, 19 through 10. I will start with 19th, Lou Palmisano, a catcher drafted in the 3rd round of the 2003 draft. He is currently 23 and is playing at AA Huntsville. I have him rated as the second best catcher on my list. He's probably our best all-around catcher defensively and offensively. At 18 is Tony Gwynn Jr. He is a center fielder drafted in the 2nd round of the 2003 draft. He is currently 23 and is at AAA Nashville. He's rising up my list a little bit more than most guys because he's shown through all the levels he's been at that he's right around a 280, 290 hitter, and is a phenomenal defensive player. At 17 is Manny Paro. He's a left-handed pitcher drafted in the 23rd round of 2003 draft. He's 23 at AA Huntsville. He's been falling a little bit due to injury problems. I have him ranked that high basically on potential alone. He's still a ways away. My number 16 is Dennis Sarfante. He is a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 9th round of the 2001 draft, and he is 25, currently at AAA Huntsville. My 15th is a guy who almost made the 40-man roster out of spring training. He is Vinny Rotino. He's pretty much a utility player in all sense of the word. He can pretty much play anywhere. He hit very well in spring training, but he was signed by the Brewers as an undrafted free agent in 2003. He's 25, and he's at AAA Nashville. My 14th is Tim Dillard. He's a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 34th round of the 2002 draft, and he is 22 and is playing at AA Huntsville right now. Also, he was our 2005 minor league pitcher of the year, so he's made some good steps since being drafted in the 34th round. At 13th, I have David Kremblas. He's recently, in the last couple of years, probably fallen out of the top 10. He was a promising major league prospect who was actually brought up for a cup of coffee a couple of times 2 years ago. He was our first pick in the 2000 draft. He's 24 at AAA Nashville. My 13th is my top-rated catcher on the board. It's Angel Salome. He was drafted in the 5th round of the 2004 draft. He's 19, is at A West Virginia. Ever since we've got him, he's done nothing but hit. My 11th pick is Alcides Escobar. He plays shortstop, and he was signed by the Brewers as an undrafted free agent in 2003. He's 19 at High A at Brevard County. Phenomenal defensive shortstop. Also isn't bad with a bat either. At number 10, I have Charlie Vermaint. He is an outfielder taken in the 4th round of the 2003 draft, and he is currently 20 at High A Brevard County. He's a 5-tool player and has played well defensively and very well offensively through all levels of the minor leagues. At number 9, I have Giovanni Chiardo. He is a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 2nd round of the 2004 draft. He is 20 at West Virginia, and he's pitching very well again this year. Number 8, I have Will Inman. He's a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 3rd round of the 2005 draft. He's 19 at A West Virginia. At number 7, I have the Hurricane Hernan Iribarren. He plays second base, signed by the Brewers as an undrafted free agent in 2002. He's 21, and he plays for Brevard County. You might have also seen him in the Futures game. Number 6, I have Mark Rogers. He's kind of here just based on pure potential. He is a right-handed pitcher drafted in the 1st round of the 2004 draft. He is 20 and also plays for Brevard County. It's just a matter with him, it's a matter of control. He's got the stuff. As soon as he can control it, he should be on the fast track to the majors. Number 5 is Corey Hart. He's obviously an outfielder drafted in the 11th round of the 2000 draft. He's 24 at AAA Nashville. He started out the year with the Brewers Club and got sent down to get some more regular at-bats. At number 4, I have Ryan Braun. He's plays third base, and he was our first-round draft pick of 2005. He's 22, and he's also at high A ball. And at 3 is Nelson Cruz. He's outfield, signed by the Mets as a non-drafted free agent, and he is 25, and he also plays for AAA Nashville. He's probably, him and Corey Hart are probably our closest position players to the majors who could play every day if we were to make a trade or due to an injury. Number 2, I have Dana Evelyn. He's a left-handed pitcher drafted in the 16th round of the 2003 draft. He's 22 and also at AAA Nashville. He pitched for us in relief last year, pitched very well. I think we're going to try to turn him in a little bit more of a starter and just get him some more solid innings at Nashville. And at number 1, I have Zach Jackson. He's a left-handed pitcher drafted in the first round of the supplemental drafts by the Blue Jays in 2004. He's 22. He's also at AAA Nashville. We recently got him in the Lyle Overbay trade. Last year he was the Blue Jays 2005 minor league pitcher of the year, and he also led the minor leagues in wins with 16. He's probably the next guy we'd put in as a starter, as a 5th starter if anyone got injured on our major league rotation right now. Well, that wraps up my top 30 Brewers prospects. All right, now let's do a prospect profile of number 1 on my list, Zach Jackson. He bats left, throws left. He's 6'2", 222-pounder out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania, born 5/13 of '83, and he was out of drafted out of Texas A&M as the 32nd overall pick in the 2004 draft. And I'm going to go over his last year's stats so you can kind of see why he was my #1 pick. I'm going to give you a season total through 3 levels of the Blue Jays organization last year. His total win-loss total was, he had 16 wins, 8 losses, which again was the #1 amount of wins in all the minor leagues for pitchers. He pitched 160 innings, gave up 174 hits, allowed 85 runs, only 70 of those earns. Probably the most impressive is he only walked 39 batters and he struck out 124, which is a pretty good strike to walkout ratio, which is huge for a younger player like that. Well, we should see Zach up in the majors in a Brewer uniform, if not this year, sometime soon. And now let's go to an interview that Craig recently did while he was on a trip in Nashville with Zach Jackson.
Hi, we're here in Nashville with Nashville Sound's pitcher Zach Jackson at the AAA affiliate for the Milwaukee Brewers. Zach came over in the Lyle Overbay trade from the Toronto Blue Jays organization this past offseason. He was a former first-round draft pick. We're going to ask him a few things here about his experience with the Sounds. First of all, how'd you hear about the trade, and what were your initial reaction when you came over to the Brewers organization?
Well, actually, I was actually out visiting some buddies over in Austin, Texas, and it was late at night. It was about 11:30, I recall, and it was just one of those just crazy things. They just called me up and said, "Hey, you've been traded in the Lyle Overbay trade, and you're gonna be a Brewer." So you can't really do anything. I was just excited more than anything. It's a great opportunity and great group of guys over here.
Awesome. So Zach, what was it? You went through 3 levels in the minor leagues last year: Single A, Double A, and Triple A.
Yeah.
And explain to me the difference in the hitters as you moved up from level to level. First of all, coming from college to Single A, what was the difference in the quality of hitters? Were they similar? And then as you moved up the ladder last year at Triple A, explain to me the difference in adjustments you had to make as a pitcher.
Well, coming from a good, competitive conference like the Big 12, it was a good fit to start in High A. I had great coaches at the time with the Blue Jays, and it was what you made of it, of each level. At the Single A level, the hitters are going to be a lot more aggressive, and they're not going to take as many pitches. But as I went up, to Double A, then it was a little bit more selective, but still raw at the same time. And at the AAA level, if you make your pitches, they're going to tip your cap, and and take it, or you make them hit their pitch. Sometimes instead of the pitcher setting the hitter up, sometimes they'll even set you up. So it's a mind game, and it's pitching, and it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot more to learn still.
Yeah. And so you also had the opportunity to pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers at Major League hitters in spring training this year. Tell me about that whole experience, and whether or not you feel that if you have a good season here at AAA, that if there's an injury to a Milwaukee Brewer pitcher, that maybe you'd be called up to be placed in the Milwaukee Brewers starting rotation. Do you anticipate anything like that, or are you hoping for a September call-up this year with the club?
You can't anticipate, too much. All I can control is what I do in between the lines out there on the mound, and I'm just going to go out there and do my thing. Hopefully, I know that I can contribute to the big league squad, and our whole goal is not to win games down here, but win games up there in Milwaukee. So, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and whenever they're ready for me, and if the opportunity arises, I'll be ready.
Okay, and the Milwaukee Brewers are kind of a hot team here at the beginning of the season, and a lot of people project the Brewers with their core of young players to be contenders for the upcoming years. Tell me about how much thought you put into that, and how much, what if you have any excitement as far as being part of the Milwaukee Brewers organization?
Absolutely. You want to anywhere you go, you want to be a part of a winning club, and I got the opportunity to be in the clubhouse, be around those guys this spring, and me personally, I've never been around a better clubhouse, better group of guys. No egos, no anything. Everybody just in it for one common goal, and that's just a win. You know, that's to get to the postseason and win. And believe it, you know, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that, and I want to contribute as much as I can.
All right, well, good luck for your 2006 season, and fans in Milwaukee will be looking for Zach Jackson up at Miller Park, hopefully for a long time to stay, hopefully sometime this season. So good luck, Zach, and have a good season.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Tom C. Happy birthday, T. Carter. Happy birthday, Tom Carter. Our anonymous source.
Happy birthday,
Happy
TC.
birthday,
TC.
Tom.
Guys, don't say his name on
Yeah.
here. It's Tom.
TC's birthday is today. It's Sunday,
Tom's T or
April
Carter's.
23rd, the
Not
day of
Tom
our
Carter.
taping. Again, we were pointed out that he didn't want his birthday to be mentioned on the air, so we didn't really want to do that. But we did want to commemorate his birthday.
Acknowledge the
We
day.
appreciate all the inside information he gives us throughout the season. We're looking forward to another great 2006 season of our Source TC. Until next time, guys, remember to go Brewers, and let's remind our audience throughout the state of Wisconsin to
Stay classy, Wisconsin.
Oh, he's getting on? I take it Ozzy's going to the bar with us, huh?
Make it a doubler.
That just happened.
It's very bizarre. I don't think Bernie Brewer would do that.
No, I don't think so. Definitely feel like an ESPN commercial.
Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and then worst of all, never thought, baby, when you say you will, but I love you still. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. I'll be over at 10, you told me time and again, but you're late. I waited round and then